All right, we're gonna do some two game recaps. These are games I played today. Um, I think looking deeply into other people's games are all well and good, but if I don't do it to mine, it's useless, right? Like how? Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna go into two different games. This one was the first one I played, and then we'll go to the next one. So we started E4, E6. Always takes a second to realize that they're playing the French. This one's actually the French, not like the other one. Whatever. Okay, two in the middle. Generally advance. I play C3. I do know that this is a move. D4. Sorry, I mean E4, E5. And I've played that in the past in a classical game with some pretty good results. But this time I decided not to do that, and then kind of regretting not doing it now. So knight f6, they're double attacking this piece. It is vulnerable, so I need to defend it. Pinning the knight. This is all, I think, theory in air quotes, or at least it's doing something, right? So we are pinning the knight so that now there's only one attacker on the pawn and one defender. They unpin, and then here I forget how you're supposed to continue defending the piece. Actually, maybe it is either bishop f3 or bishop d3 or queen f3. One of these two continues to defend, and then they would probably do something like this. And then bring their queen out, attacking down here. So I'd have to defend that, but then this is also pressuring down this way. Anyway, instead I decide to go e5. So advance now. They pull their knight back, and then here's a goober move. I thought I was defending my bishop like this. I'm not. I'm hanging a piece. One defender, two attackers. So I proceed to hang my bishop. Not great. Not great. For some reason, it didn't occur to me that I'm only defending it once. Maybe something like this, so I can go for just more of an even trade. Even though then I'm losing a pawn. Who knows? I think the best move in the position is probably just to take, and continue on with our day. Black might be a little bit better here. The knights are a little kind of goofy and maybe misplaced. But there are ideas to come down and attack this. That's not a real idea. I don't know. Instead, I just hang the piece. And whoopsie. Actually, I sack the piece. That's what it is. I sacrifice. And then now I'm like, oh, man. So we're going to stay low ELO till we don't hang our pieces. And then we can claim till the cows come home that, oh, I don't hang my pieces. Well, we do, right? If you're at 1545, you're still hanging pieces. Now, notice, though, I did win against Zach Knight 1, 10. How did I do that? I was goofy. So they take G2, Rook F1, best way I think and they take another pawn. They're now basically a rook up. Okay, so I decide aggression is how we're going to win this game probably. Maybe not. The move here, I'm pretty sure, is just to move your king over. They end up going knight a6, which is fine. It protects here, but then this knight is actually kind of a giant pain in the neck for my opponent. I decide to put my queen out. Now I got a castle queenside, right? My king, the king side is busted. We're gonna castle queenside. So they castle. I don't think this is the best move. I think this is the beginning of the end. Just because now, like, I'm kind of safe, and this whole side of the board is ripe for ripe for some hurting. Okay, so it goes c5. C5 is also kind of good. It does allow this outpost for my knight. But I think what my opponent thought was if I take back, they can then take with the knight and dislodge my queen super hard. That wouldn't be great. But I don't have to take because I have this, rook h1. The critical line for me personally was what happens if they push. And I didn't have a super duper great answer for that. I believe I probably would have taken. They take, I take here, and we're still looking at this idea of takes here, comes back, or it might be comes back, double up, and then try and get all the way down. But with the rook move, I'm now lined up on the king, and obviously check here, and then I actually think they're still better here. I do have, with some pretty big air quotes, an attack, but this kind of nullifies it, and I need to start thinking of how I want to continue the attack. I didn't have any concrete ideas. I can't do a solid rook lift just yet. Maybe something here, but this is going to be a very pretty knight. But that's it, right? And then maybe you like take or something, and now we're just kind of we're just kind of in trouble. Yeah. Maybe you can do something. I don't think there's a sack idea here, but there might be. But the problem with the sack idea is it's defended twice, right? So you wouldn't. Well, this would probably. This would be fine. So like takes back. This isn't a thing because you just checkmate you don't checkmate yourself, but then you just, oh God. It's never been worse. So, unfortunately, they missed the fact that I was threatening mate in 1. So don't resign when you're down. What could I do better? Not hang a piece. Here, maybe take back. Maybe come back here and pretend like my pawn is a big pawn. Heck, maybe come back here and start defending this. So not hanging a piece. Outside of hanging the piece, don't hang a second piece. Like this is kind of just making it worse. Because now 2 pieces are off the board instead of just 1. So maybe just don't do that. And then I hang my pawn. It's just, this is all bad. This is a very bad game. That just happened to work out. So let's go to the next one. This is very poorly played, hanging pieces. What can we learn from it? That like you really need to count attackers and defenders and not get messed up. I haven't ran a computer analysis on either one of these. It looks like someone did on this one though. So I guess we'll see it. But we're gonna go through the game first. So I think this is a more instructive game. Knight f3. There's a Daniel Naroditsky video that said if you see knight f3, you can play it just like a d4 opening. If you see this first, knight c3, you basically play it like a e4 opening. So we got some pretty big air quotes. Play the Benko. Not if they. Now, see, boom, not a Benko. But so now I'm just playing it kind of like almost a Sicilian. Look, I played the E pawn. I'm gonna take. Okay, they take back. I did think here there was a tactic, but there's not, which is Queen A5 check. I saw that like here, I think, and I was like, oh man, I messed up. I could have did that. The tactic doesn't work. And that's something you need to keep in mind when doing stuff like this. The tactic doesn't work because what you're trying to hit, say right here, you're trying to hit the dark square bishop, but the dark square bishop's going to come right back. It's defended, and it's going to attack you. So, no, it doesn't work. Anywho, takes. I don't really mind this trade. They've moved their knight 1, 2, 3 times. And so development is fine, I guess. They develop another piece. I come here with my light squared bishop. This is like a thing you do in the Benko to stop kingside castling. So now it's like kind of almost a pseudo Benko. You come in. B6, we are developing with a threat to try and get ahead in development. Attacking the B2 square. They push up to B3. I don't think this is the best move. I don't think this pawn is that important if you just defend the knight. And so here, what I don't want is to push my E pawn. They take F6. I take it back, and my pawns are kind of really messed up in the middle, so I didn't really want that. So I decided to go ahead and do what I usually do and fianchetto the dark squared bishop, which I do. Which also, if we look, is pretty nasty on this file with the rook. And to be perfectly honest, let's see. Yeah, I could have taken this pawn. Right, takes back with the queen, and a nice little fork. So they end up pushing the pawn. I go ahead and move my knight. I could have moved it, I guess, to H5, but I was worried about G4. They're not castling kingside anyway, so whatever. And so now they have a pawn. I didn't feel like I was in a lot of trouble right now. I did want to go ahead and get my king out of to safety. This does take whatever pawn you want. But the problem I think my opponent has here is that their king is in the center. And I think that's kind of their downfall, because they just enticed me to play a good move. Rook on an open file, looking kind of at their king. They take a second pawn, and this is, at least how the game goes, kind of the beginning of the end. We go check. They block the check. Hit him with another check. We are in the middle with the queen, hitting kind of everything. So, in my opinion, I think they should have come up maybe, and then you just lose a piece, right? And it's down a pawn, but a piece, and it's a different kind of fight. Instead, they go to the side. That loses the rook. They come up back this way, and it's pretty easy to say, I don't really want to take that rook, so I'm just going to come back to the center. Once again, double attacking the dark squared bishop. We have a question now, which is, do we take the dark squared bishop here, or... Well, there's a few options, right? We can force a queen trade while we're up a piece. Yeah, force a queen trade while we're up a piece. We can force a queen trade while taking a piece. Or not force a queen trade, but just take a free piece. We can take a piece with the rook fighting the queen. I decided to just simplify, take the bishop, they trade queens, Now we're here, and they move the rook over. Unfortunately, this is now mate in 2 because I don't have to take that rook. I can come over, and it's mate in 2. They move over, and I take the rook. So, let's see, analysis board. Yeah, somebody did it. Okay, well, there's the thought process. We can take it through the engine real fast. Knight c6. Okay. That's not enough, I don't think. Okay, kind of a goof. So, a lot of inaccuracies. Okay. They want... Oh, yeah, this is something I did look at. Queen a5. But I thought you could just come back, right? Here. Oh, then you can take the pawn. Yeah. Queen e5 check. You're looking at this now twice, so you could take it. Maybe they come back, and you just take the pawn, and you're actually double attacking the piece. Here. And let's see. Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. Okay, so c takes d5. Okay, yeah. Not the greatest. Castling. ef8. Yeah, I was wondering why they didn't castle at this point. But they take queen takes d7, and this is a super blunder because I find, I guess, the best continuation, right? Let's see. Is there another better move? A to d8. Okay, so this would just, like, it's not as good, right? Here, and here. And it's still kind of winning because we have the extra piece, which is the important part. But no, I find check here. Oh, I could have went here to begin with, but I just decide take it. Sure. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. This was quick. It's a quicker video. Just kind of putting my money where my mouth is. We can analyze other people's games all day and feel like we're getting better, but that doesn't necessarily mean a lot if we're not putting our, like, going after it, right? We have to be playing our own games. Granted, these aren't classical games. I do have a classical tournament that will be coming up this month, so look forward to those recaps. Hope you enjoyed the game review. We'll talk to you later. Bye.